Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another rousing adventure in Rogus Plays Nice, a show where we learn to work together, play as a team, be better people, treat each other with respect. How sad that it is so difficult to find that in these games. And it is a common recurring theme, but, complaint, I should say. I've read numerous discussions of this particular issue and how it's just so virulent in MOBAs in general. I think that one of the reasons I really like Heroes of the Storm is that I think that the team-based experience instead of the individual experience has a really significant impact on lessening that, or at least encouraging the lessening of that. And of course, we have a lot of LoL and Dota people that are trying it out and coming over, and it's not necessarily sinking in yet. But I want to highlight something that I think is really interesting as we get started in this game. And you know what? Actually, I'll come back to my thoughts in a second. But let's introduce our cast of characters. We got Jaina on blue team with Johanna, Lily, Gazlo, and Kael'thas. I was on the blue team for this one, and you will see in the course of the conversation here, in the course of the match, that the conversation does take a negative turn. Our Kael'thas, let's say he goes a little too solo at times, and we'll spend some time talking about that. But we do end up losing the game when we realistically could have won. Definitely could have won. If I recall correctly, it was not a sure shot or anything like this, but our Kael'thas may have had some interesting ideas. Maybe if we had followed along, they would have been a good plan. Oh, nice. Butcher got taken down by Kael'thas and Gazlo. That's good. But so again, foreshadowing, if we had all been on the same page, if we had all been aligned with the vision that Kael'thas ends up going down, maybe it would have worked. Maybe it would have even been better than what we did. I'm not really completely clear one way or the other. But I can say this. The fact that he tried to do his own solo thing without engaging the rest of the team, without getting everyone coordinated, really led to the end of this game. I mean, the failure, the loss of this game, because he just did too much out there on his own that were some very risky moves that if he had had the backing of others, maybe would have worked. But frankly, on the other end of the spectrum, if he had been there to defend or help with some of the things the other people were doing, maybe we would have turned the tides by just getting a few extra kills. And it's just the fact that he was in a team game. You can't be off doing your own thing. It's a team. You might need to be sort of solo laning at some point or another, but you can't really be ignoring the larger team experience, the coordination that is required. So thankfully we're off to a pretty decent start on skulls for blue team, although red team has definitely got a stronger presence. Jaina has taken her sweet time getting in here. This is going to go relatively badly, relatively quickly. I mean, they're still ahead because the noob is out there running around doing his thing, but I don't know, maybe we can get some kills off of this, get Butcher again. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we could even get Brightwing. No, because Jaina turned around on that, but we'll get a noob from the looks of things. Yep, there we go. That's a noob. And Tychus is probably going to get Kael'thas because, yep. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. Nice little clean up right there, though. That worked out extremely well. Oh, good job, good job. But still, this game, objective does matter. Objective is important on this map. You've definitely got to get these skulls. I don't know what Lily is planning right there, but she should definitely get started. Jaina is also really needing to get started right there. I don't know what's going on. People need to start killing some stuff. I have no idea what just happened right there. Definitely need to grab those skulls while you're standing right next to them. And thankfully, Johanna's got the right idea. Yeah. They're going to go grab Mercs, which is, of course, what you should do roundabout now. This might be a little early to grab Mercs. This is definitely early to grab the Siege Mercs. You should grab the Siege Mercs on the first two waves, only right as the Golem is approaching the tower, the fort. Because if the Golem is approaching the fort, these Siege Mercs will actually defend with you against that Golem. Once the Golem is passed and is down here, then those Golems should just be grabbed whenever. But you really got to time it, so don't grab it this early. I mean, this is way too early to grab those Siege Mercs, because what's going to happen is these Siege Mercs are going to run up here, and they're going to start trying to attack this while the Golem walks right past them. And instead, the Golem could have been defending here. And the blue team, as you can expect, is going to come right through here and just smash, stomp, demolish those Siege Mercs on their way through to do any sort of co-pushing here. So that was not necessarily the best plan. But going back to what I was starting, I want to highlight something that you know, there is an interesting quality that I feel I've noticed about this game, that when you are in the process of ranking up, you know, there's a lot of interesting dynamics, particularly in draft, before a game that gets distinctly different as you rank up. In the lower ranks, like you know, the 30 to 40 kind of area, there's a lot of hate talking against your own teammates, which is completely counterproductive. Definitely do not encourage that. That's really destructive and unhelpful. Oh man, nicely done on Raynor there, Tychus rather, by Jaina. Where you end up with a lot of people who just start hating on each other's choices for characters, just being generally counterproductive when it comes to choosing the draft. Like, you know, in ranked mode, you got to pick the draft characters together. You need to have a coordinated plan. And when you end up being like, no, I'm going to play this guy, and you're the last pick, and nobody else has like a good healer or whatever, and it ends up, you can get some really terrible comps, and people will play with it, and then like get angsty at everyone else as if somehow it's their fault for not having accommodated you when you were basically just being obnoxious about it. It happens, and it's decidedly uncool. And it particularly happens in the 30 to 40 ranks. People will just say, you know, basically make offensive remarks in the opening remarks as a sort of a greeting introduction that's just really unnecessary and I mean, grotesque. In a sort of a social conventions kind of way, like just wildly unnecessary remarks that just kind of bring down the level of the conversation and the energy of it. As opposed to in the higher ranks, when you start getting into the 10 to 15 at least ranks, people actually say hi. Like, this is just, it's mind-boggling how different it is that all of a sudden when you get into these higher ranks, when you start a match, the draft members will actually be like, hi, how are you? How are you doing today? They'll be friendly, they'll be polite, they'll be encouraging. And when they start talking about draft, they'll be like, hey, you know, this is what I'm thinking. What are you guys thinking? Hey, what about this? And they'll actually have a polite, reasonable, friendly conversation. And it makes the world of difference. You get better drafts. Draft matters so much. Everyone looks at these games and thinks, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to pick the hero that I like best. Or, well, when I say everyone, I mean the people towards the bottom ranks. Because, you know, even at the higher ranks, certainly that does happen, and because some people really are just genuinely really good with some heroes. Maybe this guy's exceptional with Kayle. I don't know. Truth be told, I have a pretty good idea. He's not. He's not terrible, but he's definitely not the greatest with Kayle. So you end up in a position where, like, if someone were really, really great, they should at least make a reasonable, rational argument. Oh, almost got pushed for that one. Oh, still, Kael'thas got him. Nicely done. Nicely done. It would be great if people had like a reasonable conversation about it, but instead what ends up happening all too often is, I mean, just basically like a hate chat. Oh wow, he took Pyro. Whatever. Oh, did he get Brightwing? Yes, he got Brightwing. Very nicely done. Oh wow, we are actually very much you know, killing it. Tychus, of course, being left completely alone. This is very bad. Don't do this. So anyway, the idea of just the politeness, the camaraderie, or the you know, the willingness to have camaraderie and not you know, kind of rage out and be like, hey, all of you do what I say, I'm going to carry this team. There is no carrying in Heroes of the Storm. Just accept it right now. The team experience and the way that this game is balanced, there is no such thing as carrying. Everybody does a significant impact on the game. And this is not like there's an ADC in LoL who's going to play bottom or run the bottom lane with the support. This is none of that happens in Heroes of the Storm. It's one of the things that's really great, that it is not so well defined. It is not so so specific, and there's a lot more variety available. You can definitely have very differing comps. You can have you know, a damage-heavy comp. You can have a support-heavy comp. You can have a tank-heavy comp. You can have a spec push-heavy comp. Like, all sorts of things are possible in here, and they work very well. Some of them are more effective than others, especially under certain circumstances, as opposed to others. Ooh, this is not good, letting those siege mercs still push. Definitely should have been stopping those. But anyway, yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities, but you have to discuss it. You have to agree to it. You have to kind of come to a consensus as a team to Go figure. Work together. And that just happens more at the higher ranks, so it's no surprise those are the people who have made it to the higher ranks. It's not just talent with the heroes. They are genuinely better team players. They are actually better at the team aspect, and this is a team game, so it matters so much. So right now, rant over. We'll come back here. So keeping in mind all of this idea of it's a team game, you need to collaborate, you need to coordinate, you need to work together. I mean, the red team is doing exactly what they should at this point. They're definitely getting pushed pretty hard. We're about to get, a far stronger golem on blue team, but they went and got all the mercs. That's just exactly what they should do. They picked up all 3 of them, and in fact, even more important, our one fort is down on the top lane, which is where all of the red mercs are going to go. So they're going to have a pretty significant impact there. We're gonna feel that pressure. Oh, looks like we're gonna get some kills here all the same, though. Oh, maybe not, maybe not. Yeah, that was a rough moment. Oh wow, almost got Lily. That was a nice shot by Sylvanas. Maybe Johanna will come in and clean up. Nope, nope, nope. She managed to escape. But so right now we see that. Oh wow, kept red busy. So that was brilliant. Kept red busy in the middle, fighting over that one merc camp that the team fight there. That the blue golem was pushing, the red golem was pushing, but no one really cares about the red golem. Red golem's half the strength of the blue golem, so the blue golem is doing quite a bit of damage. Managed to push all the way down to this point, and well, I guess they weren't doing a lot. They must have gotten hung up on mercs or something. No, I don't know. Anyway, the blue golem is of course toast. A red golem is toast on the blue golem on the blue team side. I'll get this eventually. And the blue golem is still pushing. They cut that down very quickly. Tychus is very effective against mercs and minions and things like that, bosses and such. And then what are we doing right here? We're going to have a pretty strong team fight. So it's worth noting at this point, 3 kills for blue team. 3 kills against blue team by red. 14 kills by red team. Just got 15 against the Butcher. Probably going to get it on Tychus. Yep, going to get it on Sylvanas. Look at that. 17-3. At this point, there is no question in anyone's mind that blue team is winning. And furthermore, that blue team should absolutely 100% win the game at this point. But yes, I assure you, having played in it, they lose. This is going to go so badly. So where are the deaths, just out of curiosity? It's Kael'thas with 2 deaths. Being beaten in hero damage by Johanna, it's worth noting. Lily is coming up very close behind him. But Kael'thas is second from the bottom in hero damage. And that's not a good sign for a Kael'thas. I don't remember what the strange things are that he did to get himself killed this early in the game. Or, well, early, but up until this point in the game, earlier in the game. But they are not as egregious as how the end of this is handled. Because at this point, we're still winning. Okay, Kael'thas just died, but, as we just noted, that's happened before, and Butcher's going to trade for it, so that's manageable. We're probably going to get Tychus. Yep, we got Tychus. So things are looking very up for blue team. Right now, we should be pushing like crazy. We've got this. I mean, maybe not push forever, but we've got 3 of them down. The 2 that are still here are right there. We can see them, no problem. Now is the perfect time to go for mines, though. This is a really important moment. This is one of these moments where you've got to go and leave so that you don't have your people die when you need to be going for the objective. The objective is way more important right now. Definitely need to be leaving. It's very cool that you want to get... Oh, man. Definitely need to be leaving. Yes, what Johanna said. Definitely need to stop. We were way, way, way too long in there. Absolutely should have pulled back a long time ago, gotten into these mines, and grabbed these skulls. Because if we got all these skulls, we would have just been killing it right now. As it stands, I mean, we're still ahead. But, if we had gone for these skulls while they still had people down, while they were still trying to defend inside the base, we would have probably done quite a bit better. I mean, as it stands, okay, we've got 40, more or less. Tychus is going to get that one down there. No one's going to contest it, apparently. Whatever. I guess we're going to go for a team fight? No, we're going to go up here. Oh, yeah. There must have been some sort of team fight starting up there. There we go. We got 40 skulls. 40 skulls right now. That's a good stop. We could go get mercs right now and be fine. We are not in bad shape at this point. Oh, that's what happened. Kael'thas came down here and was all by himself and got killed. If I recall correctly, there was some conversation. Nope, that was about something else. I don't know. But, yeah, we really really kind of separated here, which is not a terrible choice if you do genuinely get all of the skulls. I've done this in other games where, you know, you can actually, I mean, I don't recommend this, but you can suicide down here, basically, just to get all the small skulls, and then go mercs. And it actually works out surprisingly well, especially in the beginning of the game, you know, obviously when you got faster respawns. So right now, this is definitely the best advice. We should be going for mercs. I will point out one thing, though. We are not contesting this. They just finished it. Now is definitely not the time to go for these mercs, which, if I recall correctly, is exactly what Kael'thas is going to end up trying to do. We shall see. And we managed to grab those mercs very successfully. Now is the time to defend. One of my personal favorites is to defend with your offensive heroes. Your damaging heroes. Your damaging heroes are the best ones for taking down the golem, and then you push with your tanks in order to kind of, like, you know, absorb some of the damage that otherwise the golem would be doing, because the golem just does so much damage to structures because it's the only thing he attacks. Yep, see, there you go. Kael'thas went and tried to grab that. Instead of helping to defend this, Kael'thas was over here trying to grab those mercs. It did not succeed. He is going to die? No, he's not going to die. Unless he runs back in for absolutely no good reason. He is trying to go back in. Now he's visible right there. I have no idea what his plan is because those mercs are gone and you can see it on the map. So what does he do? He tries to 1v1 against Anub'arak. He manages to get it. I was actually impressed by that. I will grant you, I was impressed that he pulled that off, but he never should have been there to begin with. We've got Siege Mercs pushing up here on top. Jaina thankfully comes in to grab that, but wow, that was such a poor choice by Kael'thas, in my opinion. Like, I mean, not terrible. Again, not terrible because he did actually pull it off, but still, bad. Don't do that. That was wildly unnecessary. Lili's trying to escape, Butcher's going to die. Gazlowe took way too long to drop that, but he wanted to get everybody. I mean, I understand the motivation. Might get Brightwing in exchange, because Brightwing is foolishly walking through those turrets. Nope, nope, not going to happen. Tychus, do we get Tychus? We can get Tychus. Look at this. Still, we are massively in the forefront. Okay, they knocked down one tower because they got enough skulls off of some of our foolishness. But right now, look at this. We have one of our heroes down, 4 of theirs down. Anub is the only one who can possibly defend, and we're gonna push so successfully down here. This is GG. We're 2 levels ahead. We have got this made in the shade. It's over, and yet still we lose. It's so terrifying. Look at this. We're going to take this down, no problem at all. Okay, so Butcher's about to come out. Maybe around now we should have been paying attention and should have pulled back. In fact, actually, I take that back. I will make a stronger claim. Right now we should be pulling back. Like, this desire to kind of finish off that fort while admirable. I have no idea what Gazlowe is doing. Gazlowe is just spinning. Oh, Gazlowe, if only you'd gone for the fort. If Gazlowe had gone for the fort. Oh, okay, well, at least his tower got it. His turret, rather. But instead, we're probably going to lose everybody for this. Yep, we're definitely going to lose Johanna. We're definitely going to lose Jaina. This is a really bad time to lose half your team. Certainly, you know. Oh, and Lili tries to save. That was not necessary. Lili tries to rescue Johanna, which was definitely not the right choice at this point. Now it's 5v2, and Butcher's on the team, so he can slow and grab. Lili is toast because the noob's now going to come up behind and stun as well. There you go. That's it for Lili. Oh man, she just managed to escape. I totally did not expect that. But let's see. Where is Kael'thas? What is Kael'thas doing? Kael'thas is thankfully getting skulls. He is getting skulls. So are they. This is not a bad choice. But at this point, you know, I don't even know what to say to Kael. Like, this is one of those moments where we should have pulled back because if skulls were about to come up, we definitely should have been getting skulls. Kael'thas goes and gets some skulls to, throws that pyroblast. He gets some skulls, so that's not terrible. He manages to get us a not insignificant golem. Yeah, I mean, that's valid, but, I mean, what else was he supposed to do? Yeah, this is not a terrible choice on his part, frankly. He got us some skulls. I mean, right now, I mean, depending on how you look at it, we could go for mercs. We could go for mercs and end up pushing their top lane pretty hard, actually. We're certainly not in a good position. I mean, if we go down and we're missing Kael'thas, this is going to end very badly. And in fact, Gazlowe's trying to do it. Gazlowe's trying to run down. No, that's bad advice from Jaina. Oh, it's really bad advice from Jaina. We're trying to ambush them at boss. We know that they're all going to be at boss. And we've only got 2 of our people. Okay, thankfully they pull back, but that would have been very bad. Unfortunately, oh man, if only Johanna had noticed that Sylvanas was right there. Unfortunately, Gazlowe and Johanna do not get the message and go in anyway. Really would have been the right moment. Jaina should have countermanded her previous suggestion and been like, hey, by the way, we gave up on going down and ambushing them at the boss, and instead, now we're going for Mercs. But yeah, that didn't happen, and as a result, Johanna... Okay, so Johanna protects Gazlowe, that's good. Right now, we could definitely be going for more Mercs. Okay, so Tychus goes and gets those Mercs. We're going to go up against a 76 to 24 Golem. This is not a problem. Right now, this is not a problem. Right now, all we have to do is defend this one Golem, knock it down before it destroys too much of our fort, and we will be fine. We will be completely on top of things. We still are 1 level ahead. We are 20 to their 19. That's significant. We have Johanna doing I don't even know what. I don't want to know what. They're split, so our Golem is definitely... I mean, our Golem just knocked down their fort. We're doing some damage. Well, I mean, we might be able to stop their Golem before it knocks down our fort. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Johanna's finally coming in. Okay. There we go. That's not terrible right there. And that's it. See? Fort. Managed to make it. So we're actually, our Golem even made it all the way down here. Everything went down except their healing fountain, and you know, whatever. Somebody will top that one off when they get there. Right now we got to deal with these, and what happens? This is where it all goes downhill. We're now 2020. Gazlowe and Kael'thas run out despite the retreat warnings, and I guess what? Kael'thas is trying to tell them to retreat. They're about to push top, and Kael'thas and Gazlowe are going for a mad push. This is a 4v3. It ends very, very badly. Oh man, don't even get any of them. Yeah, we lose Lili and Jaina, while Gazlowe and Kael'thas decide to try and, sneak in on the bottom. But that's not going to go well. These 3 guys still have these 2 Siege Mercs. These Siege Mercs are not going away, and with Anub here to tank and Brightwing to heal, yeah, this is going to go extremely poorly up here, and these guys are not accomplishing anything. Kael'thas and Gazlowe are just wandering through the jungle, definitely not doing damage. Okay, they're going to kill Tychus, clearly, for sure, but that does not amount to the fact that they just completely demolished one fort up there. They're going to finish off this fort down here. Dude! Oh man, he had the nerve to QQ. Kael'thas telling us that we're crying and he doesn't care because, yeah, I guess he really doesn't care. That was such a good push on his part not. And yeah, I mean, this is when you have one plan and everybody else has a different plan and not coordinating. I don't think yeah, Gazlowe's not even gonna get that. Like, this is 2 separate plans happening at the same time, and they are not coordinated, they are not organized. The mines are opening, we need to all be alive, we need to all be going in. Yeah, Johanna, I mean, sort of polite, you know, in that fun little roundabout way. And Gazlowe's toast, and Kael'thas is probably toast as well, because, yeah, at this point, I mean, all Butcher has to do is just turn on his healing. Oh, Kael'thas manages to pull it off. Like, yeah, you know, not terrible, not terrible. But where are we? Yeah, Kael'thas with these 6 deaths, Johanna with the 2, and approaching fast. Yeah, see, more with the QQ. Thanks, Kael'thas. That was very productive. I mean, this is the sort of thing where, like, look, we're demolishing them down here. We're actually having a very successful counter to these guys. We've taken 2 of them. Well, he took Butcher down. We managed to get Brightwing. We're going to get more skulls, hopefully. Hopefully. No, we're just going to chase after Sylvanas, which is not necessarily terrible. She is at least moving in the direction of some more skulls. We now have 3 of them down. We have 3 of them down for our 1. And all we have to do is grab some skulls. This is so winnable still. And there are no forts left on the map. It is purely a game of core versus core. And what? We chase a noob. This was definitely a mistake. That was a terrible mistake. We should not have done that. We needed to get these skulls. Tychus, on the other hand, is running around, grabbing skulls like a crazy person. And I mean, he's probably going to die for this. I don't remember specifically. But, I mean, it's so worth it. They got 47 skulls. At this point in the game, there's nothing else worth getting, practically. Because, oh man, is he going to make it up? No, he is not. At this point, look at this. It's just core versus core. We have got to grab these skulls. And if we've got the stronger skulls, we could win. We're still 30 kills to 16 kills. We're 22 to 22, completely even levels. They've got 2 people down. We've got free range for the place. This is a given. This is a given. We should win. Oh, no, we don't win. Of course, they're going for Mercs, which is the right choice. And frankly, it's a great choice when the numbers are so even like this, when it's 50-50 practically, getting both, or at least 2 Mercs, you know, getting the mid and your own side. I mean, that's the obvious choice. It's absolutely the obvious choice for this. This is brilliant, because now there's a split push. There's the Merc on the bottom, or excuse me, the Golem on the bottom and the Mercs on the top, and red team can push with. You know, the one thing that we've got to do right now is not do what these guys are doing, which is try to do some crazy back... Man, dude, what are you doing? They're going to try and, like, rush the core. And in exchange, we lost Johanna. We're going to lose Jaina. And are these guys going to successfully push the core all by themselves? See, this is the moment where it's like, okay, if we had done a base race, which is basically what they're proposing. I mean, this is a full-on base race. We've got 2 Mercs pushing. If we'd gone for the base race, maybe we would have pulled it off. That's actually very possible. We might have pulled it off. But because they didn't say what they were doing, they didn't communicate effectively, they didn't actually, you know, try to help, there was no consensus, there was no agreement, there was no coordination of any kind, that just ended so poorly. And look at this, I mean, it's true. It is a base race. We might have won if we had gone down here. Is he for real? Yep, there you go. Johanna had more hero damage than Kael'thas, and Kael'thas had, you know, a third of our deaths, more than. And Kael'thas is still throwing out the insults, as is Gazlowe. I suspect Gazlowe and Kael'thas were buddies, partnered up. And we lost. That was a base race. We lost, just barely, because, you know, depending on your perspective, because the rest of Blue Team did not go with Kael and Gazlowe. But at the same time, I mean, you know, they weren't not here. Red Team was definitely pushing at the core as well. And they had the Mercenaries, which to me is a pretty compelling argument. They had Mercs, they had siege cannons, catapults coming in as well. Yeah, that was, as I said at the beginning, Kael'thas might have been onto something. I hesitate to say he might have been right. He might have been onto something. There might have been validity in his ideas, but his execution was incredibly poor, and the teamwork was non-existent. And this is a team game, and you have to coordinate, and you have to be polite and helpful and enthusiastic and encouraging for a particularly successful win. It is so straightforward. At any rate, I wish you all the very best of luck in finding both teammates who are helpful and friendly and supportive, and also being one yourself and actually contributing to the greater, not just good, not just the win, but the happiness, the enjoyment. This is a game, people. Have a great time. Enjoy it. And it is more enjoyable when you win, but it is substantially less enjoyable when the people on your team are not fun to be with. So, you know, don't be that guy, guys. Have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.